for the majority of the game, they were not able to run the ball well. And really, what they carved Baylor up with was that QB run game. They weren't really able to do that much because Oklahoma, what a good defensive coach does, they take away what you do best. And I think that was really evident in this game. And I just think Jackson Arnold, when he's put in a mode of he's got to drop back and pass, I don't think he sees the field. His processor's not quick enough. He's not going through his reads quick enough. Sometimes he's not trusting what he sees, getting back to this drop and letting it rip. And I think that, in a lot of ways, caused some of the sack issues yesterday. Now, obviously, there were some times where the O-line just got manhandled up front. No doubt about it. But I just don't – I think their offense is going to be kind of limited this year because of that fact. I think he's very much – he may have taken a little bit of a leap in his game, but in my opinion, he's very much the same player that he was last year at Oklahoma. He's just got better skill talent around him to kind of help mask for that. On the Oklahoma side, defensively, kind of a rough day for them. Very up and down. Couldn't get into a real rhythm. They couldn't really run the ball. Their leading rusher was John Mateer, who went for 29 yards on 10 carries. And I think for them to be where they want to be at the end of the year, which is be in championship contention, that has got to change. They've got to have a better and more effective rushing attack from their running backs. But when the game was on the line, John Mateer, the drive that he had to lead them down to go up 24-17, that is what's special about that kid. Like, he was in complete command, throws a dime on the sideline, and then runs it in, runs over the safety, puts his body on the line. He's a gamer, man. I really enjoy watching him play. But I will say this, Graham, and then I'm going to kick it to you. I found it interesting watching that game of how, not in always, but there were a good bit of similarity between him and Jackson Arnold from the fact of Mateer left a lot of clean pockets throughout that game. And I think for them to be better down the road, he's got to learn to stay in that pocket a little bit more, trust what he's seeing and letting it rip, because you're not going to be able to make a killing and a living off of just freestyling the whole entire game. So great win by Oklahoma. Auburn now has to go on the road to Texas A&M. That's not going to be a pushover by any stretch of the imagination. They're coming off a bye. But if you're an Auburn fan, I think you feel good about the defense, and I think you feel good that you were in that game with the officiating the way that it was. Again, on their side for sure, but also on the Oklahoma side. And I feel like you had a lot of penalties. You had special teams mistakes with the muff punt, missed field goal. I think you feel pretty good even with a loss. And you take out the frustrating aspect of how it ended, where you start on the 23 and you get a safety. I think both teams have a lot that they can take away from this game and feel good. What do you think, Graham?
Yeah, from an SEC perspective, we don't really know that much about Oklahoma outside of the Red River rivalry with Oklahoma and Texas playing every year. That was, truthfully, about the only time that most casual fans would watch a game that Oklahoma was involved in that was not the Big 12 championship game or the college football playoff. Mm-hmm. Norman, Oklahoma is a tough place to play, and I don't think we give it enough credit. And I think for SEC fans, we think that and kind of give the perspective of Oklahoma being the stepchild of Texas, younger sibling that doesn't have as many resources, that doesn't have as big a fan base. And I'm not saying that either of those is completely wrong, but Oklahoma stands its ground, and they stand out. Oklahoma has sold out every single home football game since 1999. That is a long time, Hampton. It's I think they said it was 190 games or something like that over that 25, 26-year span. And I think it goes to show, you look at Alabama last year playing at Oklahoma, couldn't get anything going. Auburn goes to Oklahoma on Saturday and really doesn't seem to muster a lot that's going on. There's a lot of chaos that goes on the Auburn sideline. And I think that's a big aspect of the offensive line playing so poorly. You have to give credit to this Oklahoma defense. And, just ferocious on the defensive front. but I don't really think Auburn helped themselves out either, knowing how good Oklahoma's front seven was, especially in pass coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Really big deal.